Hi everyone, this is Amber with Amber Crafting. I hope that you're having a fantastic day. I'm here today to talk about my planner lineup, what I'm using, what's working, not working, and a little freebie for you all. So without further ado, let's get started. This year I have downsized my planner a lot to a B6 traveler's notebook. I shouldn't say this year. I've actually downsized the last quarter of 2022, and the B6 size has been really working for me. And so that's why I'm sticking with it for the year ahead. This B6 planner is from Printpression. It's a white, and the only thing that is changing is that I'm changing the cover every month. So for January, it'll be white, and the inserts will largely be the same. This planner I set up in a separate video. I can leave a link down below for that in case you're interested. The inserts are my January 2023, where I have my monthly overview, I have notes, objectives, I have a weekly overview, and then right after the week, I have my daily. The weekly overview, I'll go to a blank week, shows notes, the month, dinners, weekly goals and objectives. I did get a sticker for my shopping list, and these are what I intend to do is put my staples in here because I plan to do at least one trip per week as I'm getting better at reinstituting my meal plan. Then we have the weekly schedule. What I intend to do is put my time sensitive tasks under the days as well as appointments. Then I have my prayer times approximately so that I can keep in mind when I should stop my my schedule and pray and work my life around those prayer times. One of my most important tasks to do in my ideal day is to pray on time, and that's why I have the times here as a highlight in my week. For the daily schedule, I have the schedule on the side from 7 in the morning until 8 at night because the time sensitive items occur between those hours. I do usually get up well before 7, and I am up way after 8, but there's no scheduled activity during those times, so this is why I have those times highlighted as opposed to the full hours of the day that I'm awake. Then I have notes. I've got my ideal day, so you can see I have my prayer on time, my homemade meals, laundry load, meaningful connections, creativity, tilawat, which is reciting and reading the Quran, and read and or study. So reading a book or studying something, making that time for education. And then at the end of every week, I have an evaluation for myself. How did I do? What were my accomplishments? My lessons learned, my weekly accomplishment scale, so I could rate myself 1 to 10. Any notes, and then how many of my days did I do everything that I consider important for me in order to live out an ideal day. So that's that tracker there. And then after that, I have a more deep evaluation about my highlights of the week, how I'm feeling, what do I need, and how I can look forward to the next week. Are there any things that I need to do to get prepared for next week? And then the next week, the cycle starts again. So that is my January booklet. And I've gone through about 8 or 9 days so far for this week. I really have enjoyed this process. I had a similar setup for my weekly book in December, and I intend to have the weekly books stay the same for February. Next, I have my reading booklet. So this is my year in reading. I've downsized from having a full reading journal where I was like writing a review and doing a full page spread for each book that I read. I don't have maybe both time and inclination to do that anymore, but I still do want to track my reading, and reading is very important to me. So I thought it would be better to have a book that I could carry with me daily, in my B6 cover that shows those reading goals. It could be a place where I track the books that I want to read for that month, put some goals for the month. I can track the days that I've read specific books, and then as I finish books, I can write what they were here and what my rating was, and then collect some statistics on the books that I read for the month, like average rating, how many were fiction versus nonfiction, etc. So this reading booklet has pages like that for every month. So this is January, for instance. There are 4 pages devoted to January. And then I have for February and March and so on. Then at the end of the book, we all love this spread as planners, a place where you can color in the books that you finish and see those lovely bookshelves fill up. So I made pages for that. I included 4 pages because each shelf has 25 books. And I tend to read about 100 books a year. So we wanted to have space for that. I don't know if I'll get it to 100, but I did want to have ideal space. And then I have a yearly reading log where I can track the days that I've spent reading. This year I've done pretty well so far. I've read almost every day. And then I have a page for my favorite book of the year. So at the end of January, say I would evaluate those books and pick a favorite. And then I'd have a favorite for each month. Next, I do want to track my genre of the books that I'm reading to make sure that I'm having a more even spread. If it was up to me, I think I would read mysteries and thrillers all year long. So this is keeping me accountable for varying my reading material. Then I have a spread for book recommendations that I get either as I'm watching the news or looking at the book reviews or hearing from friends, etc. And since this is with me, the B6 that is, I can pull this out and fill it in as I get a new book recommendation. Book purchases, the same idea. I want to keep myself accountable and track the books that I'm buying. One of my goals is to buy less books or fewer books this year than I did last year. I intend to buy books that I'm reading specifically for book club. So those are books that I'll have to page through and go back to as we're taking part in discussion, or nonfiction books that I'll have to refer to often. And those will be my book purchasing limits for the year. And then tracking the cost to that. Library books, I want to keep myself accountable to borrow books that I fully intend on reading, not having to renew them constantly, and returning them on the due date. I tend to hold on to books and then just renew and renew and renew. So I want to put a limit to that. So that's why I'm keeping myself accountable with this list here. And then I have a couple of pages for notes at the end. Next, I have this insert. It doesn't have a cover because it's kind of a catch-all insert for ideas as I come up with them. So I won't go over that too much, but it's just kind of like my brain dump insert. And then last, I have an insert that is a year overview and future log. So I have each month is listed in here. So here's the year overview. Then I have each month, and I would put the month tasks as well as holidays, events, and very important appointments here. And this is my personal assistant planner. In the back, I do have some stickers using for planning as I go. And then in the zipper compartment, this is my favorite part of the planner. I have my pens and my highlighters that I'm using. So these pens would change. I kind of stick with the theme of the planner cover that I'm using for that month. So I've got a gray, a black, a gray Fudensuke, and a blue highlighter. And that is my color scheme for planning and my notes for this month. And I really love it. I've been pulling this out multiple times a day. It's either in my purse or at my desk while I'm working, and I'm just constantly referring to it. And that's the goal of the planner, right? To make sure that you're using it always. Second planner in my planner stack is my journal. And I had done a process video for this journal, which I'll also link below. Every month I do a journaling challenge. This month I've collaborated with Cella Create to do a New Year, New Me journal. So I worked with her to create this printable, and every day there's a tracker, so you could track the days that you've completed the activity, and every day there's a prompt for you to journal about. So I've done a couple of days so far. I'm working through day 8 today, and what I will do is I want to decorate these pages in advance so that when it comes to the day, I can journal, as opposed to decorating the page and then journaling. So I like to batch my tasks that way. So I'm working through decorating the pages now, and so that when the day comes, I can journal it. After that, I have one other booklet for this journal, and that is my vision and goals booklet. So inside this booklet, I have a board for my vision board, and then I have some reflections on the goals and the steps for each area of my life that I want to improve. And for each goal or area, I have an evaluation or an improvement tracker. And so for at the end of every month, I want to put my accomplishment toward that goal and then lessons learned toward that goal. So by the end of the year, I will have made headway and progress in those goals. Then at the end, I do have a monthly review where I can kind of rate myself. I intend to do a scale like 1 to 10 on my progress for the month in that goal. And I plan to fill that for each of the 8 areas for each of the 12 months. So every month, this goals booklet will migrate to the new journal cover, and I will have a new monthly journaling challenge book to go. And I'm really enjoying this system. Most of the time, this book is also with me in my purse so that I can journal while I'm out if I'm waiting for an appointment or something. So that is the second one. And then the third one, this one is staying home. I had done a process video on this, which I'll link below or in the description. And this is my vision journal, or my vision workbook for the year. This is an area where I'm using collage and like very long term or long form narrative journaling prompts to talk about all of the areas in my life that I want to improve. And whereas the small journal here, doing like an overview of my progress, here I'm keeping a lot of space for myself to write like really like a long entry on how I feel like I'm doing in that area. And these collages, they may change, they may build, they may grow. I also have lots of pages for new collages too. So that is it. That is my planner stack for 2023. I really enjoying this system so far, and I'll provide updates as I go along through the year. So now we get to the fun part, which is the freebie. I make my planner inserts with Planify Pro, which is a program that you can use to design your own planner inserts. There's lots of templates that you can use to start from, or you can make your own planner inserts from scratch. I do both, honestly. The program is so flexible that you really, any type of planning template you need or any type of item you need to do, you can create it. So I work with Planify Pro on their PR team to offer inserts to my followers, 3 inserts each month. This month, in the vein of the new year and getting back to basics, I have created 3 inserts, which I hope will be useful to you as you get your plans down for the coming weeks and months. So the first insert that I created was a weekly insert. It is a 2-page spread, and it's very similar to the insert that I currently use in my monthly planner. So this weekly spread will show you an overview of your week. So if you tend to time block or you're in a specific place every day at a certain time, you can use this grid to see your schedule at a glance. There's a place for weekly objectives, weekly tasks. If you're doing meal planning like I am, you can track your or plan your meals for the week here. And then you have the weekly overview that will allow you to put in either tasks or appointments on a daily type of schedule on this page, so you can have it for quick reference. As well, what does your ideal day look like? Are there tasks that you should do every day in order to have a more fulfilled life and track them? You can include that information here. So that is a weekly spread. The link to download this is below. There are a variety of sizes available, from A5 to half letter to B6, like what I'm using, and even down to personal and A6. So you should be able to find the size that fits for you. The second insert is the daily insert. So this is a 1 day per page type of spread, and it will allows you to list your 3 priorities for the day, personal and work to-dos, meals, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, as well as your daily schedule. And then the last insert is the weekly overview. So you can rate yourself on, and it's a 1-page insert. It does print double-sided, so you can print these out as many as you want, maybe have them at the end of every week. So this insert allows you to list your accomplishments, your lessons learned, rate yourself from 1 to 10 on how productive you were or accomplished you were for the week. How this week went, you can put a little, maybe the journaling entry or a narrative here, and then your next weekly goals and objectives, or you could list what your weekly goals and objectives were and check off whether you completed them. And then there's a little extra space for, you could put a motivational quote or a sticker or anything that you like. So the link to download these 3 inserts is in the description. I hope that you enjoy using either one or all of these. Let me know if you have. I'd love to know if it's useful to you. Have a wonderful day, and I look forward to seeing you next time. Bye.